The recipe for creating a hot hatch is no secret. You take 1 part small front-wheel drive chassis, you add 1 part sport suspension, you add a nice healthy helping of racy interior with bucket seats and a fancy steering wheel, and then very important, 2 parts big motor up front. You finish it off with some garnishings, some trimmings that sets it apart from the other models on the road. Then you cook it, and you have to be very careful when cooking it because it's so easy to overdo it, end up with burnt offerings. Now, I'm wondering if Opel has overcooked the new Adam S. Much like an 8-year-old eating Sunday lunch, we're going to start in one place on our plate and work our way around. So we'll start with the aesthetics, and here we see the front lip spoiler that's been added, as well as a set of 18-inch wheels and tyres with red calipers poking their heads out from behind the spokes. On the C-pillars we see some Adam S badging, and above that the Adam S spoiler on the roof. We've got red LED taillights at the back with a diffuser style insert in the bumper. The stance is pretty good, but I'm going to put that down to the suspension. And we've also got 3 color combinations to choose from. The one we've got here is the red roof with the white body. Overall, pretty pleasing. So far, so good. Then we move on to the tasty interior. Now, where the normal Adam has a body-colored panel here on the dashboard and on the door cards, these ones are a beautiful grey, but it's got the red and white stripe on it here, and S detailing on the dashboard that ties in beautifully with the exterior colour scheme. That red's also carried here onto the leather-bound steering wheel with red stitching, as well as the gear knob and the handbrake lever. Now, it's got the MyLink infotainment system, and I never thought I'd say this, but it's actually starting to seem a little dated. It's not a bad system, but when you compare it to some of the offerings in the other GM products, yeah, it's starting to feel its age a bit. Never mind that. The real cherry on the top of the cake are these beautiful Recaro half-leather bucket seats. Their one-piece backs really do envelop you and hug you and give it a real racy feel. Now, the firm ride can't only be blamed on the seats. I believe it's a combination of the seats and the suspension and the wheel and tyre combination. Opel did beef up the suspension and lowered it a little bit to give it a better centre of gravity and better handling. Of course, it runs on those 18-inch wheels with low-profile 225/35 section tyres. All of that combined together gives you quite a stiffly sprung ride. Then there's the steering. I criticised it in the original Opel Adam video I did, saying that it lacked in communication. Well, Opel's gone to the opposite end of the spectrum here, and they've almost made it a little too direct. As a result, it starts to track now. It's great for spirited driving, but it becomes a little bit tiresome on the open road. Now, of course, what are all these vegetables without a little bit of meat? The meat in the Opel Adam S is a 1.4-litre 4-cylinder turbocharged motor. It's got a very clever turbocharging system that almost completely eliminates lag. You're going to get 110 kilowatts and 220 newton meters from this power plant, and it really is sprightly. You end up rushing into the rev limiter so quick you won't even believe it. You will know that you're there though, because the limiter is actually quite hard. So keep it off the limiter and shift through this beautiful, slick 6-speed manual gearbox, and you can have an absolute whale of a time. The Opel Adam S is a combination of many different things, so in that way it's a bit of fusion cuisine. It retails for 330,000 Rand, and that makes it a boutique hot hatch, going up against the likes of the Alfa Mito and the Citroen DS3. It is a bit gourmet cuisine in that approach. It's not necessarily to everybody's taste, but it is something special, albeit a little bit pricey. You just need to decide if it's for your palate or not.